Russia has launched a military operation in Ukraine, forcing President Volodymyr Zelenskyy to issue a martial law. There are reports of blasts near the rebel-held areas of Donetsk. Joining me live now for more is CNN reporter Atika Schubert, live from Lviv, Ukraine. Thank you for your time. What's the latest happening on the ground there at the moment?
Well, what we're tracking now is just how far Russian ground troops have penetrated into Ukrainian territory. Earlier this morning, a series of missile strikes in the capital, Kyiv, that have continued into the afternoon. Also in the eastern city of Kharkiv and in the southern port city of Odessa. There were even some strikes here in western Ukraine, which was very unexpected here. This is considered to be the safest part of the country, but in fact, it looks like an airport about 100 kilometers from here was targeted. It's the military sometimes using a part of its runway. So it looks like the Russian offensive was trying to degrade Ukraine's ability to defend itself, at least from the air, and now has moved its troops in. We have had reports already, and we've seen video of Russian troops crossing over from Belarus and also Russian troops crossing over from Crimea. What that effectively means is that Ukraine is under attack from the north, east, and the south, and it's very much spreading its military thin. The safest part to be right now is in the west, where I'm at in Lviv, and this is why you're seeing lines of people trying to make their way across by road to Lviv to try and seek some sort of safety.
There are reports of several casualties, including a young boy. Has there been any confirmation on the ground there?
Yeah, we're still trying to confirm a lot of this. According to the Ukrainian authorities, they are saying that at least 40 people have been killed. Some of that has been in fighting, and particularly clashes along the borders in the north and south. Some of that in missile strikes, and it does include some civilians, but we don't have details on specific individuals. On the Russian side, however, we don't have any confirmation of fatalities at this point. It's the kind of information we're getting is very spotty. It has to be double checked. And right now it's a very fluid situation. For example, the Ukrainian military claimed to have shot down 6 Russian fighter jets. We have not been able to independently confirm that yet, and the Russian military has denied this, but it's a very fluid situation still.
It certainly does sound like that. Do you have any idea or inclination of what perhaps the next step could be from the Russian President Vladimir Putin when it comes to this, as you say, this assault?
Well, the big question is, what is the end game for Russian President Vladimir Putin? In his speech that launched this attack, he said he wanted to demilitarize Ukraine. He also said he did not want to occupy Ukraine. But it's hard to see how Russian troops don't occupy Ukraine and still hold that territory. By saying he wants to demilitarize Ukraine, this probably refers to the missile strikes that have severely degraded Ukraine's ability to defend itself. The question is, what happens to the government, and what are the plans of Vladimir Putin in terms of Ukraine's government and power?
And just finally, on the sanctions that we're seeing announced from world leaders, including here in Australia, could those or would those disrupt Putin's end goal?
Well, I think the reality is there are some pretty tough sanctions slapped on Russia earlier. It did nothing to deter this invasion from happening. So while the sanctions will have an impact later on, it may have no immediate effect in the ongoing invasion. I mean, you know, there were warnings of this attack, but the sheer scale of this invasion is just staggering and has really shocked many Ukrainians.